right, guys, welcome back to another video and a brand new module all about the different pathways to building wealth. Now, this module is a little bit different than the others, right? The others might teach you how to protect wealth or protect against risk or save in taxes or budget or whatever. This one is all about the actual growth engine behind wealth creation. Now, there are a lot of ways to build wealth, and I'm going to break down three main ways in this module, okay? The stock market, real estate, and business ownership or entrepreneurship. I'm going to break those down and kind of talk about the ins and outs. Now, one of the reasons I feel this is such an important module is, number one, we all typically follow the default to building wealth. Whatever we saw our parents do or people around us as we were growing up, or even early on in our career, what our coworkers do, pretty much that's what we do. And because we weren't educated about finances and investments, we really, a lot of times I found, just don't understand what else is out there. Okay, so that's number one. I want to show you what else is out there, because you need to find a path to wealth building that fits your goals. Right? It fits your lifestyle. It's going to help you hit your financial goals. And it's also something that you're going to enjoy doing and will stick with long term, to see the compounded returns. So number one is kind of awareness about the different pathways to building wealth. Number two is, once we become aware of the different opportunities, maybe we've heard of this thing or that thing, it's really hard to get an accurate picture of if these things are viable for you. We don't understand the ins and outs of each of the different pathways and the different risks involved, or time commitment, or capital commitment, or how long it takes to see success. So there's just a lot of things that are kind of left out. There's a lot of people that talk about building wealth one way or another. Usually they're marketing something. So if they sell a real estate course or coaching or something like that, then they're going to talk about real estate all day long and the benefits. Usually they're profiting off of that, which is totally fine, but we typically don't get the full picture. We just see them all of a sudden at a high level of success, and we don't understand what it took to get there. Same thing with, starting a side hustle or an online business or investing in the market or trading or anything like that. Typically, we just don't see the full picture. We see the end result that they're marketing, which is very desirable, but we do not understand what went into it. And so a lot of times we start down a path and realize, wow, this is really not the path for me. Like, I didn't understand what went into this, and this doesn't jive with what I'm trying to accomplish. And so I want to make you aware of different pathways to building wealth, so you can kind of get outside of your own experience, get outside your own circle of influence, and understand what opportunities are out there, because there are so many opportunities. And then number two, help you start to understand the ins and outs of these so that you can understand all the factors and make a really good decision as to which pathway you're going to pursue, which one best fits your plan. So when I was a financial advisor, I had trouble with this, because here I was helping people build wealth, and everything about what I learned as far as licensing goes, as far as training, even as far as, the certified financial planner designation, it was all centered primarily around building wealth in the stock market. Not a bad thing, but there's a lot more out there. And so I had people come to me and say, hey, I want to work with you. I need help planning. My main thing, like, I do real estate. So can you help me do that? And we just get pushback. Advisors like, well, if real estate is his thing, like, there's nothing we can do about it. We're not going to convince him to help us manage his assets. Okay. It was all about invest in the stock market so that we can manage your assets and charge you fees for it. Again, not a bad thing at all, but we have to understand what the different motivations are and what the different pathways are. And so, building wealth through real estate is totally fine. And they also need planning help just as much as somebody that's building wealth through the stock market. But generally, financial advisors are ill-equipped to help people invest in anything else or plan around any other type of wealth engine besides just investing in the stock market. And so there are other ways to build wealth, right? And it's important that we understand those, that we factor those into our plan, understand how to protect it, how to protect against risk, how to insure it, how to manage cash flows, all that stuff, depending on which wealth engine we've chosen for ourselves. Okay. So that's what we're going to dive into. Now, just a quick word: cryptocurrencies, blockchain, these are kind of a new emerging asset class. And so I may do a separate section on this, but for most of the principles in here, we're going to lump those into the stock market section for a number of reasons. I know some people might not like that. I think the blockchain technologies, different protocols on the blockchain and applications and certain cryptocurrencies can have a really bright future, but it's still very new. And so it behaves a lot like some of these other asset classes. And so I'm just going to kind of lump it in there. That being said, we'll get into some details. I hope to create a number of different expert videos so that you can get information from credible sources about all these different types of wealth building engines. So we'll talk about cryptocurrencies and different investments around decentralized finance, DeFi, when we are into these modules. And then potentially I'll make a separate one just to kind of address some very, very specific pieces around there. But generally speaking, there are 3 pathways right now to building wealth because they act similarly. And so that's what we're going to address. Buckle up. This is going to be a really fun module. I hope you learn a ton. And more importantly, I hope you learn what pathways don't fit you and which ones will actually really fit what you're doing so you can really start to hone in and pursue that pathway. All right. See you guys soon.
If you found this helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.